Yeah.
What I loved about the real estate industry is the amount, especially in the single family home side of it, the amount of creativity that was
Yeah.
available. That basically, if you thought it and you could write it down correctly on your legal document, you and the seller could go back and forth until you both agree.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. Today's guest is an Ohio-based commercial mortgage broker who specializes in mobile home parks, RV parks, manufactured housing communities, storage facilities, and holds equity in parks herself. Please welcome Emma Norman. Emma, welcome to the show.
Hi, Dylan. Thank you for hosting the show and inviting me to be a guest. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's great to have you. I think I've only had maybe a handful. You could be the first guest that I've had from Ohio. I have to go back and check. How long have you been in Ohio?
I've been in Ohio for about 15 years now.
It seems cold.
I love it cold. I prefer it cold. I actually had this conversation with my daughter the other day. We were complaining about the different humidities available to you across the states. And we were complaining about Florida's humidity, and right now Ohio feels like Florida.
It's
So I
humid
was
in
talking,
Ohio? You're kidding me.
yes. During the summer, it's very humid, despite what people think. Yes, we
I don't.
reach,
Oh my
yeah.
gosh. I've lived in some cold, cold climates. I went to
Well,
school in
yes.
Boston, and I feel like Ohio gets very, very cold as well. But one of the interesting things is you lived in California previously, right?
I lived in Washington State. Oh,
Okay, Washington, not
yes,
California.
yes,
West Coast, but
yes.
not California. My bad. I
Right.
apologize. I know it's
No, no. Everyone thinks California, West Coast, but there's still Washington and there's Oregon too. So, and Idaho wants to throw themselves in it too. So there's that.
we have this thing locally. I'm a Dallas realtor, and if you tell someone from Fort Worth, which is the neighboring city, and it's the DFW metro, so people go back and forth all the time. If you tell someone from Fort Worth they're from Dallas, or if you tell someone from Dallas they're from Fort Worth, it's like a big thing. It's a whole ordeal. And I said, man, it's the DFW. Like, no, 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 no. It's a big deal. So I don't want to
Yes,
misstate
I've been
the state.
triggered. I've been triggered. That's correct. So
But Washington. So how long were you in Washington for?
I was there for over 25 years. I was basically raised there. Yes.
Seattle area?
Seattle area. Yes, actually, Tacoma, Northeast Tacoma. Stadium High School was actually featured in 10 Things I Love About You with Heath Ledger
Okay.
and Julia Stiles. I
Oh my
actually went,
gosh.
so
Wow, everyone loves that performance by Heath Ledger. One of
yes.
the things that I think is interesting because it's two totally different areas of the country, right? I mean, Seattle real estate is a whole other animal, but then you have Ohio. When did you first know that you were passionate about the real estate space? Was it when you were out there living in that side of the country, or when you moved to Ohio?
So definitely on that side of the country. in that I was fortunate enough to be married to a man whose family was knee deep, waist deep into developing single family homes. They, at that time, I would say about the fifth year of our marriage, my ex-father-in-law was building out a plat of over 150 homes.
Oh my
At
goodness.
which time it was the good times.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
It was pre-2008. It was
Yeah.
the good times. So I was a realtor and I was basically just sitting there and closing deals. And that's all I was doing, and I was just sitting at, nepotism to its finest. So
Now, now during that time period, and I guess backing up a little bit beforehand, you mentioned that you had family that was involved in the business. Did you always know from kind of a young age that this is what you wanted to go do, or was it more
Oh,
of a kind of, hey, let me get my feet wet and see what this is like, and then you found out that you were passionate about it?
so absolutely not. Like I said, I was fortunate to marry the man I did marry. It was a whole different mindset, a different way of living, a different social economic class. I'm going to be straightforward.
Yeah.
What I loved about the real estate industry is the amount, especially in the single family home side of it, the amount of creativity that was
Yeah.
available. That basically, if you thought it and you could write it down correctly on your legal document, you and the seller could go back and forth until you both agreed. I loved that so much. Just like software, right? And coding. Like you write it and you get this magical thing on your screen, and you're
I
like,
know.
how the heck did I just make a whole new universe?
And
The
now you
same
don't even need
logic
to
is
do
used.
anything. You just do it in AI. Say AI, write this
Exactly.
for me. I'm in
Exactly.
a software engineering program, and about halfway through, we were all like, "Oh my gosh, what are we doing here?" We can
Right.
just, we should be liberal arts majors, right? But, which is the total opposite side. But I actually think on that note, we may see more people pivoting towards kind of the creative and away from kind of the STEM. You might need maybe an AI cert or a certification, but a lot of the creativity is now going to be in high utility. I want to pivot a bit here, Emma, and ask you about going from retail, as a realtor, to then the lending side, the mortgage side, and what spurred that, and then also what was the pivot points, or what did your career in business look like going from that side to the lending side?
So, I have a plan, an overall plan, where I wanted to own my own properties and I wanted to be able to scale on a huge level, right? And I'm not talking one at a time. I was thinking 50 to hundreds at a time because my overall goal would be a debt fund where I would be able to give loans. But in order to start any kind of fund at all, for any kind of credibility, you have to be able to put your own assets in it as well for people to take you seriously. Like you have the GP side experience as well as the LP side. And of course, you understand how to get your capital investors and equity capital as well. Of course, when I first started out, I had no idea about any of this. All I knew is I wanted to own a ton of assets that would be able to somehow hold a program where I could provide housing for free for a year for domestic violence victims and their
Yeah, it's
families.
amazing.
I was very particular about that. So I woke up one day and I went on Indeed.com and Eastern Union was looking for commercial mortgage brokers. And I just went ahead and applied. They rejected me.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Okay, they totally rejected me. And I kept pushing and pushing and
I like
pushing
that.
because I just had this idea in my head that that's where I'm going to end up. I don't care how long it takes. I don't care how long it takes me to learn. That's where I'm going to be.
Did you have the
So
license at that point?
no, I didn't. I didn't. So commercial mortgage brokering is fantastic in that way. A lot of people don't know this,
You don't
but
need it.
certain states and actually most states, exactly, you don't need a license.
Do you need it, but you do need it on the residential side, or you don't?
You need it on the residential side, absolutely, because you're
Okay.
dealing with a different audience. When you're dealing with commercial mortgages, I
Uh-huh.
guarantee you, 90% to 95% of your clientele is smarter than you.
So when you're in the commercial mortgage space, do most people have the mortgage? What's the license? The LMO, or I'm probably butchering it. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
you start off with that. No, I would not say that necessarily, at all. As a matter of fact, a lot of people that I consort with, they don't hold a license, um, at all. Because, like, for example, in New York,
Yeah.
you can actually start being a broker as small loans as small as $18,000 and up. Okay. And then in the state of Florida, I can broker loans there as long as it's with brick and mortar banks,
I
not
gotta look
private
into
money.
this for myself. Now you're gonna get the creative thoughts flowing here, Emma. I'm gonna be
Exactly.
taking a look at.
Everybody thinks they can do it. That's what's
That's
the
right.
funny thing about it is everybody thinks they can do it. But the fact is, it's just as time is consuming as running an asset. That's why
Yeah.
we're of value. I can say that when I'm running my assets, it takes away a lot of time from me in to be the mortgage broker side of it, and I take just as much time being a commercial mortgage broker. Thank goodness I'm an empty nester. I have the
It's a
time now.
time-consuming thing, right?
But like if I was raising my family, there's no way.
I
There's
want
no
to
way.
ask you about the persistence with getting that job. I think this has not been something that I've talked about at all on this show. We've done, hundreds of episodes. Uh, a lot of people, I think, may face rejection in the job market, right? And just say, okay, well, it's not for me, or I don't know, maybe I have to get additional certifications or go back to school, so on and so forth. And you just said, no, I'm going to get this. I'm going to make this happen. What was your approach? You mentioned like Indeed. Did you reach out to them on a granular level? How did you get that job?
So, I was very, I guess the best way to say it is unsophisticated. I took the interview video in my bathroom in a cami. So, so I reviewed that and I thought, oh, that must be it. So I put on a decent shirt and I took the video again. And I think I emailed them another 5 or 6 times and said, no, you have to hire me. No, you have to hire me. No, you have to hire me. And then things really began to change when they realized that I had enough nuance in the business to understand certain things that weren't being taught because of my real estate experience way back
Yeah.
when I was in the group Zooms, I was like, oh, I just asked him if he had more assets to add to the loan amount so that we can go ahead and get him a loan. And then that got me like, they started whispering about me at that point. I remember them whispering. It was the CEO now And then along with the right-hand man in the industrial sector of our company, they started whispering back and forth. So I made a huge splash. Within 8 days, I was actually recruited to the MHP division because they realized, oh my gosh, this woman is not going to bring in anything but mobile home parks and RV parks. And I did not cover ground with you on that, why that was so comfortable for me.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
I was actually a mobile home park property manager for a
Yeah, there
solid
it is.
5 years before. Yes, so that just made sense to me. So I'd like to say that it never happens right in that moment. It's the culmination of all of the years of your experience and like taking your shot and knowing when that moment is
Emma,
and saying, I can do what anybody says.
I love hearing these stories. I have a good buddy in San Antonio who's a recruiter. And what's interesting is I've learned so much about the job market, and because he's recruited for all different types of jobs, a lot of nursing, but a lot of roles outside of that as well. And I see, like, from the mindset of the hiring people, how things happen. And of course, because I've applied to jobs and so many people have, right, you can kind of, in a way, demonize all people that hire and be like, oh, they're missing it or whatever. But I've seen from him, there's simple things that so many people can do, such as make sure that they're including the keywords in their resume that the people might be looking for so that it gets through like the applicant tracking system, right? And then also understand that just because it's up on Indeed or LinkedIn or wherever, ZipRecruiter, right, some of these other places, that you may need to have kind of that contact sport mentality like you had, Emma, and be like, I'm not just going to do the Indeed. I'm going to reach out to them like 3 or 4 times. And you did 5 times. So, I mean, personally, like, you can't have the mentality of like, okay, I got rejected or they haven't responded, I'm just going to move on. Because that's what it takes right now. And good on you for doing that. But I do want to pivot to where you are today and kind of chronologically get us up to speed. So you're a equity partner in some parks, and you're involved in deals, brokering deals in the storage facility, RV parks, modular mobile home, right? And all of these have a tie-in of land. I love land. We were talking about this before hopping on here. I'm a big fan of land. I'm in North Texas, so we've got plenty of land within the commercial space and mortgaging these types of deals. Do you see that there's a lot of kind of similarity between these types of deals, and that an investor who might be looking at a storage facility might also be looking at a RV park or modular home park, or is it something totally different entirely?
Oh no, that is what they're actually adjacent. The
Yeah.
3 sectors I just went over. It's not very hard for them to be jumping from one to another to another. And that's why I do such. I have clients who just started off in mobile home parks, let's say 6 years ago, right? And presently they're up to 50 mobile home parks and they want to slide into self-storage,
Yeah.
right? So they have 3 or 5 of those. Why they tend to be adjacent is some of the same players like to make the scooch over as well. You get to this certain point, this breakage or emergence that happens to where maybe you're not so interested in taking care of where people live anymore. You're
Yeah.
more interested in running businesses.
Yep.
And self-storage is more like a business model. And same with RV parks. It's
Yeah.
more of a business model. You're running a business. You start qualifying for SBA and things of
Yeah.
that sort.
It's
So
huge.
Yes, exactly. So you get to go into those sectors with a little less money down if you're qualifying for that SBA, and a different set audience of people you're working with on
I
a daily
want
basis.
I want to ask you about some of the hotbeds areas of land investing. I mean, I think, of course, there's people who are involved as real estate agents, maybe in some of these deals, but the lenders, right, are heavily, heavily involved, and I think maybe more so because everything depends on them, and then also you see all different kinds of investors from all across the country. Where is some of the hotbeds that you're seeing for some of these deals, whether it's the storage or the RV parks? Which area of the country are you seeing a lot of these deals happen right now?
So they happen across the nation. Let's say Utah and Wyoming and Idaho. It's a very scenic area of the country. So RV parks are very hot there. They're very hot there. Anywhere, and then of course Florida.
Hmm.
RV parks are a huge industry in Florida. There's RV parks anywhere there's a workforce. Texas, for example,
Yep.
oil and gas, it's huge. RV parks are huge there. And I know we're trying to focus on land and everything else. I tend to step away from that when it comes to MHC and RV parks, in that there's not enough of an appetite for it
Hmm.
on the stabilized side of things. However, on private equity, people are gobbling that up. They are looking
Oh.
for that. Debt funds, JV partnerships, they are looking to definitely find the spots where there's no regulation to stop you from building a new MHC or a new RV park. There's hunger for that. For example, in Atlanta, they
Yeah,
are so severely behind on affordable housing that they will do whatever.
I
So that's what
believe
I
it. I believe it.
have.
I've seen actually a guest on this show introduced me. I was unaware. They have super everything from very cost effective to super luxe RV parks, which I've never seen before, but definitely exists. Well, they'll have attractions, they'll have restaurants,
Oh, yes.
water. And I said, that
Uh,
seems amazing. Yeah, I want to go, right?
yes. Yes. Yeah.
But
They really enjoy that out there, especially in Florida, Ocala area. There's an RV park there that is actually quite famous in our sector, the Champions Run, and it is the creme brulee of RV parks. It has the spa, the excessive showers and excessive laundromats and things like that, and they only let in coaches at like $250,000 and up, like things like that. Yeah.
yeah, I gotta get to that level. Let me get a luxury. As soon as I get either a spot in a luxury RV park or I'm part of the deal, that's when I'll know that I've made it. Emma, we are coming up on time here though. Where can folks go if maybe they'd like to reach out to you, or maybe they're looking at a deal and would like to get your perspective, or if they're maybe based out in the Ohio area themselves and would like to reach out to you?
Oh, I would love that. I would absolutely love that. So we start our deals out at $1 million in loan proceeds and up. And you can reach me at enorman@easternunion.com. You can also reach me on Facebook. I'm a Facebook fiend. I love to do messages, DM messages, and I'm the sneaky person in the shadows who just DMs everybody. Same with LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn. And of course, you can always text me at 330-314-4878.
Emma, thank you so much for coming on the show here today.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.